think you're a little too generous with the C minus.
All right, now Chuck, before we get into the Europa Conference League final, we did an exercise today on Morning Footy, giving grades for certain players in the national team player pool, and I wanted to get your grade for Yunus Musah. He had 0 goals and 2 assists, which, okay, he's not in there to score goals or we'd like to see him do more of that on that side of the ball, but not always his role. In 40 appearances in all competitions. And before I reveal what I gave him for the season, I want to know what both of yours are. But Chuck, I'm going to let you go first here on what kind of grade would you give Yunus Musah, A to F? And then I'll eventually reveal what I said.
A to F. At Milan, he played 40 matches in all competitions.
Yeah. So no national team. It's just at
Milan based.
Just
okay.
Or I can go first if you want to sit with it. I said C minus, everybody. Mm-hmm. I loved, and the C kind of comes into obviously the team not performing well.
That's average, by the way. So you know that, like, it's just
I gave a C minus though. The minus is where I'm a little disappointed. Okay, so the C is like he got trusted by 2 different managers. 40 appearances in all competitions is a lot. So clearly he's doing something that demonstrates that he's capable and he's a contributing member of the team. It's hard to extract the recency bias of him not performing well towards the end of the season. So I get that, but I wanted to at least acknowledge that it's not like he only played 5 games. Right? Like he Gio-Reynaed it and didn't really play all that much at all. The minus for me on the C minus is that it just felt like he plateaued this season. Mind you, he's only 22 years old, and there's going to be ups and downs throughout your career. And I just feel like he's on a little bit of a down. And now I'm hopeful that he's got great people around him to make sure that he minimizes that down and starts to maximize going back up. And I think that he will, because he's got too much talent not to. But I just thought overall,
I think you're a little too.
I want more from him.
I think you're a little too generous with the C minus.
Ooh, okay. Well, tell me your grade then.
I would have given him a D on the season.
Oh man. Chuck doesn't suffer any fools. Everybody.
No, Yunus Musah, we know is one of the most technically gifted players to ever come into the national team. He's just a brilliant dribbler and great anticipation. Where you kind of want more from him is the goal production side, whether it's assists or creating goals or scoring goals. You just feel like you want a little bit more from him in the attacking third. But I just don't think he necessarily settled into any one position. At Milan, he was used as kind of a utility player because
is that his fault though? Or is that, I mean, I just want to make sure we're seeing kind of the full picture, because a coach would be like, hey, could you play some 8 for us? We got somebody hurt. Could you play a little 8? Or, hey, by the way, this Emerson guy, not very good. Can you play out? Can you play out wide?
Well, it goes on both, right? It's not just the coach. It's not just the player. So, if a coach is going to all of a sudden play me at right back or right wing or right center back just to get me on the field, yeah, okay, I'll do it. But is that my strength? Is that where I'm the most comfortable? Playing Yunus Musah at right back with the national team and Pochettino. I know we're only talking about club. Is that a good thing? No.
Right.
Playing Neymar at right back or left back or Messi just because they're so good. Is that a good thing? No, I don't think so. So ultimately, I think where he needs to improve is in those areas, which will prevent him from being used as a utility player. We know just how good he is. And if you're playing with 3 in the midfield, you have the flexibility of playing DM, defensive midfielder versus 8 versus 10. You can get away with moving guys around in that because you're central and you're a midfielder, and you can finagle something when you're talking about roles. But ultimately, he just didn't deliver. He wasn't consistent this year, and he made some massive mistakes.
Yes, he did.
And I think with that, we're talking about C is average. He wasn't average. He was just below average this season. So the positives are he's young, and there's a lot more to play for, especially in a year out from the World Cup.
Big Tones, we know you love ratings and rankings and grades. I say C minus. Chuck says D. Where are you on Yunus?
I lean more to Chuck, and you mentioned the recency bias. I've been telling you for 4 or 5 months now, Yunus Musah has not been good for Milan. The 41 games, I think, in a lot of ways are deceiving because there were moments where there were multiple injuries. That's part of the reason why he played in multiple positions on the field. But to your point about you said something about we don't expect goals and assists from him. I think in general, if you're a midfielder or you're a wide player, you have to be involved in goals and assists. And he plays quite a bit. And then we say, okay, he's a dribbler, right? Which in general means you dribble somebody to get into dangerous spots to provide assists, right, to somebody. And if not, you're just dribbling to dribble, right? And then nothing comes of it in the end. But I'm a D in this case, and I think if you asked Yunus Musah to do the same for himself, he probably would say the same thing, in my opinion. The multiple positions thing, I'm fine with that because we can't praise Weston McKennie for being so great and being so valuable to a team because he plays multiple positions, and then when it's Yunus Musah, we give him a pass because that's not his position for me. I just think you're asked. I know it's not easy, but I think you're asked to do something, you do it. And the age thing, I get he's young, but you didn't ask us to grade him on age. You just said grade him. Grade him on the season.
And I think your point about the attacking thing and where I'm disappointed in him, and I'm sure he's disappointed too, is he found himself in some really good positions this season and just either couldn't score or the final pass was lacking to unlock an opportunity for somebody else. And that's where he needs to improve, I feel like, to really take those big next steps in his career. All right, we could go on forever on him, and I could name other players. We could do grades. Maybe we'll save a few maybe for the next show.
What were the other person's grades? Who else gave a grade for?
Nico Contour did B- initially, a B-. Yeah, and then Michael Lahoud had a D. He was with you guys. So
Nico gave above average.
He did, but then he changed it. Ivis is correcting me in the chat. But he started with a B-, Ivis. I said C-, and then he ended up changing it after hearing the rhetoric and opinions of me and Michael Lahoud.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, go back and watch it. They replay the show later.
Good thing I wasn't at the desk today. I tell you that.
Did Pulisic get graded?
Yes, I gave him an A because
it's hard not to.
Yeah, just because of his goal contributions and how much responsibility he took on to show up when maybe some of his other teammates weren't, and led the team in goals, second in assists. Yeah, I mean, obviously you leave the national team stuff out of it when you're rating, but I thought it was an A. One thing too that this kind of goes for all the guys over there, but I think Christian's carrying the torch maybe the most, is that he has normalized or helping normalize that Americans can play on your team now and be trusted, and especially on the attacking side of the ball. Goalkeepers, that's always been okay based on what you did, Tony, and all the other goalkeepers in your generation, kind of paving the way, and you've seen Tim Howard continuing that and so on. We had some defenders that could go out there and do the job, but like attacking players is different. To be trusted in that way is different, and you have to consistently be good. And I think that Christian's done an excellent job of, you got an American in your team. It's not that big of a deal anymore, but 15, 20 years ago, it'd be like, minds would be blown. So fair play to Christian, but to everybody that's over there that's working hard to change that stereotype. All right, I don't want to
that whole thing. They've embraced that. The radio announcer, when he scores, he chants USA. Like they've gone overboard to embrace the fact that he's American and he's come there to play. They love him, man.
You're still here? Yes, I absolutely love that. Listen. While I have your attention, if you want more average to good soccer content, this is the channel for you. Go check out our other videos. Go check out our playlists. And if you're really liking what you're seeing, I don't know how you couldn't, hit like, hit subscribe, of course, and then turn on your notifications so that you do not miss anything that we drop or when we go live. We'd really appreciate that. We'll see you next time.